Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween. We are so excited to be back here with you yet again. Fantasy Life on Sirius XM, Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you for the next couple of hours. And let me set the scene here for everyone listening to us right now. So we're on a Zoom call, right? Every single day I get to see Adam's, bright and smiling face. Every single day, we're looking right at each other, whatever. Right now, I have no idea what Adam said he's going to come dressed in a costume. So I said, okay, I didn't actually think he was going to do it. So I can't see him right now. So I'm going to say, Adam, welcome in. How's it going? How you doing? And we are going to have the exact same moment where we see what he is. Oh my God.
Yes, I am the sugar daddy today. Got my bling too. Yeah. See, you like it? You like it?
This is hilarious. That's incredible. Can you describe it to everyone?
Yeah,
You're funny.
I got a jacket with some dollar signs and it says sugar daddy on it, and I got a chain with a dollar sign, and I got some sunglasses, and I got a nice cigar as well too. So I'm ready. So I'm ready for the ladies today.
So funny. No wonder you're not handing out candy to children from the hours of 3 to 6.
I thought you were gonna be in a costume. Why'd you think I was lying for?
I don't know. I just thought you were kind of kidding.
No, if I tell you something, I'm gonna do it.
That's hilarious.
Nah, I was actually walking by a store and I went in and saw the costume. I was like, damn, this is great.
I need this. Wait, the jacket is kind of cool though.
Yeah. It's got some dollar signs.
I thought that was like the dollar signs are on the jacket.
Yeah,
no, that's actually cool. No, I like that. You're so funny. So you going out? Are you going out in that tonight? You have to. You bought the costume.
As of now, no. But if I do go out, then yeah, I will wear it.
If anyone runs into Adam Ronis tonight, please, I need take a picture, send it to us on X. That would be incredible.
Have to be swimming though after all the flooding in New York yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see that?
Yeah, wait. I saw a video this morning of that and I said, I wonder what the time, because sometimes you see videos a little late, and it was yesterday. You've been getting that much rain, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any flooding like that directly around me, but yeah, it was crazy. Some scenes, Brooklyn, New York City.
Yeah,
so
some of those
hopefully everyone's okay.
Yeah, hope everyone's all right. And you're Adam is so funny. I'm picturing you walking by that store and just like doing a double back and being like, wait, I actually need this. I'm gonna go in there and buy it. That's incredible.
It definitely is.
Really good. All right. Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. Favorite Halloween candy before we get started here. We will eventually talk about fantasy football. I
have to say Reese's peanut butter cups. Yeah, anything peanut butter. I do love Snickers though. I ate a bag last week.
A bag?
Yeah.
From the guy that doesn't like candy?
No, here's the thing. I do like candy. I do like candy, right? But you don't want to eat it too often. A lot of sugar.
It's fair.
So, but if it's there in front of me, I'm going to eat it. That's why I try not to have it. But my mom gave me the bag.
That's incredible. I love that. For Halloween, I really like Kit Kat bars, like those small little Kit Kats, or the Nestle Crunch, in the blue wrapper. Those two are some of anything chocolate. Just give me all the chocolate.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
I love chocolate.
Yeah, I don't like, you like sour candy?
Not
I like maybe peach rings. Those are pretty
used to when I was younger. As I've gotten older, no, I don't like any of those sweet things anymore.
I don't either. But yeah, Reese's peanut butter cups, I think it has to be number one. For especially for Halloween, but okay, do you like candy corn? I love candy corn.
I do. There's people who hate it.
I know there's people that really, really don't like it.
I don't love it, but when I was younger, I definitely had it more. I haven't had it in a long time. But I think it's one of those things that you can only have a couple pieces. Like you can't eat, if you eat 10, it's like way too much sugar.
Yeah, I agree. If it's there, I'm going to have a little bit, but I'm not, seeking it. I'm not buying it for myself. So
wait, do you get trick-or-treaters come by you?
No, I wish I did. No, not to give away where I live, but it's
give your address. It's fine. No one's going to show up.
So we're living at no, it's like condos. So they're all very condensed and put together, which is surprising though, because we do have a lot of kids in the neighborhood. I think they do trunk or treat now. I don't know if they just do something different, but I always have candy just in case. And then I give that candy away to the 1 or 2 kids that come by and their parents are like, please stop. Please stop giving my kid all this candy.
I was thinking of going trick-or-treating myself.
Oh, you should. Yeah. No, totally.
I mean, you put on a mask, no one will know that you're
yeah,
older.
no one will know
They
that you're an
won't.
adult at all. No, absolutely not.
I'm
Especially
a tall kid.
when your voice comes out and you say trick or treat.
No,
Like, yeah, no, that's a child.
I'll do trick or treat.
Oh
Then,
my
I'll change my voice.
Honey, can you clip that? Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it. You have to hand candy out today, though. You have to do it for all
I
the
don't
people
have any.
Oh, yeah, you ate the whole bag that your mom gave you.
That was for me, though. That wasn't for trick-or-treaters.
Okay.
She made that clear,
Fine.
okay? Don't make
Aw,
it seem like I
that's
stole
so
kids'
fun.
candy. I don't want
No,
that.
you
I
did.
don't want that reputation.
You would never. You would never.
No, I
Oh my
wouldn't.
goodness. So fun. Well, happy Halloween, everyone. We've got some great stuff that we're going to break down here today. First off, and I did say, Adam, we will talk about fantasy football, I guess, if we have to. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, they're back. They were playing the Miami Dolphins, so maybe we have to worry a little bit, but the Miami Dolphins just don't look like a good team. They scored a total of 6 points last night. Baltimore Ravens came out and won this game 28-6 on the road. Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdown passes. And this was the first start that we've seen him in since week 4, since he was sidelined with that right hamstring injury. So 4 touchdown passes, posted a passer rating of 143.2. Derrick Henry added 119 rushing yards on 19 carries. And again, the Ravens get this win. Much needed, kind of the rest of the way here, Adam, until we see him continue. But now sitting at 3-5. So it's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and Jackson came back and looked fine. He didn't run a lot, only 5 carries for 14 yards. I didn't expect him to run much. It didn't make any sense for them to push him that first start back.
Yeah.
So, as usual, he was efficient. This is what Lamar Jackson does. He just doesn't need a lot of pass attempts to put up massive fantasy numbers. I mean, even when you look at last year and the 41 touchdowns, he only had 474 pass attempts. So, he's got 14 touchdowns this year in 5 games, just 1 interception. So for those that were holding on, obviously, and waiting for his return, this is a massive start to what you hope is a big second half. And that's what you expect from the Ravens. This is why they were anointed as the favorites in the division going into this week, even going into this game 2-5. It was a combination of we knew that Lamar Jackson would come back. They would get healthier on defense, the schedule, and the Steelers being, I was going to say frauds, but I won't. But that the Steelers aren't as good as their record indicates. So, all good signs here for the Ravens. Miami actually played well in the first half in terms of moving the football, but they kept settling for field goals, making mistakes, and
it was self-inflicted errors.
But that Ollie Gordon call was atrocious.
Horrible. Even were you listening or did you have it on mute? Because even the announcers were like, this was bad. They just said that straight up.
Everyone, it was all over.
It was horrible.
And then of course he gets yelled at by a coach too.
I know.
And
what do we do?
well, I was only pissed because I had a Waddle prop, and I was like,
okay, well. You don't care about
no, but I'm like,
teams,
I mean, he still cashed it anyway, and I figured that he would, but that was like what, a 30-40 yard play taken away.
Big.
So
no, it was big.
he would have had over 100 yards, but it wouldn't have made a difference, I think, at the end of the game. And it's just amazing that Atlanta lost to this team as badly as they did last week, because this was just a brutal performance from Miami, and
it was bad. They were booing them at home. You kind of have to.
When you look at Miami, though, the only players that you can use in fantasy going forward are Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle. I mean, that's pretty much it. I know Greg Dulcich came in and had 5 for 49 on 5 targets. Maybe something to look at in tight end premium leagues to see if that continues. But we kind of thought Malik Washington might step up with Tyreek Hill out, and it really hasn't happened. He just hasn't done enough. He had 3 for 48, 3 carries for 13 yards. So it's really just Waddle and Achane. And actually, with Achane, this was the first game in a while that he went over 30 receiving yards. It's the first time since October 5th, and it's only the 3rd time this year that he's gone over 30, right?
39. So the
yards have been down. I mean, the targets have been there. He just hasn't done much, because I was eyeing that receiving spot. I should have taken it. I think it was 32 and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He had 10 targets, too. 10 targets, 6 receptions in this one.
Yeah, 10 targets, tied the second most this season. He's got 60 on the season. And it's unfortunate for him. He's such a good player, and he's stuck in a bad offense. If he was on a better team, you might see more touchdowns. I mean, he does have 7 total touchdowns, which is not bad. But in a better offense, you would see even better numbers.
Yeah, the Dolphins are just it's just not a good team. They're just not. And it was a lot of errors, like you said, in the first half, they outgained the Ravens 225 to 109 in yards. But they didn't want
And they were down
225 to 109.
14-6.
I mean, their second drive, it was that fumble inside their own 20. And then that set up Baltimore to score the first time with Mark Andrews. And then the Dolphins got out to the 12-yard line, but then had the false start on 4th and 1, set up the kick that was missed. I mean, there was a lot. There was a quote from Mike McDaniel. I think it was the halftime when they talked to him, and he said, we can't play against two teams. Like, there was just not complimentary football going on with their team in that game last night. So you could tell fans were pissed. I mean, fans are booing them, but I think it's absolutely warranted. And yeah, like you said, you can't play anyone else. You've got Achane, you've got Jalen Waddle now, Tua with only 8.54 fantasy points. There wasn't a lot of fantasy points in this one anyway, or at least high scoring. I mean, it was Lamar Jackson, 25.5. Achane had 16. It was tight ends day times 2 with Mark Andrews and Kohler. What are we doing?
And likely.
Getting it. Maybe they just wanted to do that. But
and this was my concern for Zay Flowers going into the year, that this would be the type of offense that they operate where they win games comfortably and you just wouldn't see the volume. Now, we did mention yesterday this was kind of a homecoming for Zay Flowers. Yeah. He's from Fort Lauderdale. They said he had a lot of family and friends there. 5 for 64 is fine, but we were seeing bigger games from him early in the year. They're going to spread it out, though, in this offense. And again, there will be weeks like this where you see Lamar attempt 23 passes, and Flowers is just not going to score a lot of touchdowns unless he breaks a big play. You see, when they get to the red zone, it was Mark Andrews twice. It was Kolar. That's just the way it's going to be unless he gets a long touchdown. So I think, again, he'll be fine with Lamar Jackson there. And with Andrews, still only 3 targets. But, hey, if they're going to be red zone targets as a tight end, I think you'll take it. I think you're pretty happy it's been a struggle for Mark Andrews this year. But having Lamar Jackson back is just massive for him. Yeah, Lamar Jackson played the Detroit game, right? Yeah.
It was
did.
week 4 when he
So
went out.
all his touchdowns for Andrews are with Lamar Jackson.
He's just doing his best Dallas Goedert impression. That's what he wants to do. That's who he is for Halloween. It's just like they're never going to stop. And we're just going to say they can't keep up this pace. And they say, absolutely, yeah, we can. Look at this. The Ravens rest of season schedule, because they've got this mini bye since they played on Thursday. So we see them again November 9th. But they take on the Vikings on the road, the Browns on the road. So tougher defenses there. Then they're back home against the Jets. They play the Bengals twice, the Steelers twice because they haven't faced them, and then the Patriots and Packers. So a little bit of a mixed bag there.
They're going to put together a string of wins, I think. And maybe the two toughest games. I mean, the division games are always tough. We can say what we want about the Bengals and Browns, but they're usually tight games or competitive for at least a little bit. But I see the Ravens just taking off here, and as do the odds makers in Vegas, which is why they were favored to win the division even at 2-5. So I think they're going to put together a nice string of victories, and
I agree.
I think they win the division. I really do.
I'm looking at it too, and I do as well, especially with that schedule. And like you said, the odds makers believe in that too, so we're just gonna go with it. And it was good to see them get this win, kind of go out there. It was self-inflicted errors for the Dolphins are really what brought them back. And then Lamar Jackson, he looked unsettled in the first half, but once he got out there, shook the rust off a little bit, and they really came together and dominated this game. So again, they win. Lamar Jackson 4 touchdown passes. Ravens win 28-6 against the Miami Dolphins on the road. A couple other pieces of news since we're here at the top of the show. Puka Nacua says he's going to return this week going up against the Saints. He sprained his ankle again in week 6. I should say again, just to remind you that he sprained his left ankle in week 6, said he feels fantastic and, quote, is ready to go against New Orleans on Sunday. Had the full practice yesterday for the first time since he did injure that ankle. So it's good to see, Adam. We always love getting a fantasy superstar coming back, hopefully.
Yes, and it would be best case scenario in that he only missed 1 game. So sometimes the bye comes at the perfect time for some of your injured players. And if we do see Puka return this week as expected, then that will be the case. Just 1 missed game. I mean, technically 1.5, because that game he left, I think he had, 2 for 28. So that's an awful game for Puka. But you'll take it because it could have been much worse. So hopefully he comes back and dominates like he has been.
And based on what we've seen from the Rams too, I saw this question about, downgrading Devontae Adams a little bit, but it's not going to be by much. Of course, Puka Nacua obviously slots in ahead of him in the rankings, and you guys can find those at fantasylife.com. But it's not going to be this huge drop where we say, "Oh, Puka's back; he's just going to take over all the targets, everything again." It's not. We saw Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford really get their connection down, get that chemistry going. Of course, yes, it was without Puka Nacua, so it has a little bit of an asterisk with it, but this offense is looking really good and they're flowing right now. So he's going to go down just a little bit, Adam, but it's not going to be one of those things where he's outside, the top. I think I have him inside the top 15 this week.
Yeah, I'd say top 15, top 20. Because if you look at the games with Puka, look, these are the targets for Adams: 8, 13, 8, 6, 11, 9. Now, the 9 might have been increased. That was the game Puka was mostly out of the second half. And then even without Puka, he only had 8, but that was a blowout. It was 35-7. But yeah, to me, Adams is really, the touchdowns are what you're looking for from him. He's just that red zone threat. That's what I thought when they brought them in. I thought he'd be more of the red zone guy than Puka. Again, Puka has not been a big touchdown guy in his career, but he just gets so much volume and, can break tackles, and just because of the volume of targets, he just piles up the yards and the catches. But Adams is the guy, though, that I think he will finish with more touchdowns at the end of the season than Puka. I don't think that's crazy to say. It's just the
not
way
a hot
it is.
take. No,
Yeah.
I've got Puka. If he is able to play again, we'll just have to watch out for it. I've got him as a wide receiver 2 going up against New Orleans. I actually have Devontae Adams at inside my top 10. He's at 10. So I think I might keep him there. Again, fantasylife.com to see all of our rankings. Last one really quick here, Adam. It just looks like the Cardinals are preparing Kyler Murray to start. Had some questions that came in a little bit later after the show yesterday at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. We know you guys have a good amount of questions today, so we're going to try and get through as many as we can. But it does look like when Gannon, was asked about Kyler Murray, they said that they are getting him fully healthy to play. So we'll see if that actually happens this week.
Yeah, because they were splitting reps at practice, and then there was some talk about how Murray was supposed to speak with the media yesterday and didn't. And he will speak later in the week. Now, they do play Monday, so it's a different set of practice days for them. But yeah, there was a little confusion there on exactly what is going on. So it sounds like he's going to play, but let's make sure first.
We would like to make sure because, like you said, it is that Monday game. So if you're holding on to Kyler Murray and you're thinking, man, should I play one of these backups or one of these streamers that I picked up, you really need to pay attention to those injury reports, those practice reports. But hopefully, Adam, we get more news today rather than having to wait until, tomorrow. But we'll figure it out here. All right, we're going to continue on. Rankings, risers, and fallers. Want to talk about Caleb Williams this week. Is he finally going to come up after a little bit of a down after the last 2 games here? Tajay Spears, Alec Pierce. We're breaking down them and more here coming up next. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween, everyone. We are here ready with you to go. Fantasy Life on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis. If you missed the reveal of Adam's costume, please, this show will be on YouTube later today. So you guys can go and check it out and give us a follow. It's our new YouTube channel, Adam. We're trying it out there. And so we would appreciate anyone liking our videos, subscribing, whatever you can do to give us a follow. And you will see Adam's costume, which is absolutely amazing.
And you won't see Kendall's, who was told earlier this week that I was going to wear a costume. She doesn't believe me, as if I'm not a man of my word. Come on. What is this? Whenever have I said something and not come through?
No, I'm just kidding. It's like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. So if you see Adam in the streets of New York tonight, please take a photo with him and his Halloween costume. It's just absolutely incredible. All right, we are continuing on here. Fantasy Life, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, getting you ready for all things Week 9 in the NFL and for fantasy football. If you guys have questions, send them in, please, at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. I see a few coming in right now, so we'll make sure to get to as many of those as we can, and we'll open up the phone lines here in a little bit in the water cooler. But just some more risers and fallers here, Adam. Caleb Williams. I don't think we talked Caleb Williams yet this week and our expectations for him, but looking at the matchup. What do we always say about these matchups? We say, okay, who's playing, the Cincinnati Bengals? Who's playing the Miami Dolphins? And once we figure that out, we say, oh, there we go. So the Bears are on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals. And so in this one, Caleb Williams has been a riser, but man, after that bye week, he's only averaged 12.8 fantasy points over the last 2 games. And this is a turn because he was before the bye, getting 21 per game over the first 5 weeks. So they've turned to their run game a lot, and we've talked about that with DeAndre Swift, with maybe a little bit more Kyle Monungai. But this is a really good spot for Caleb Williams to kind of get back into it, continue to run, and just really boost those fantasy points across the board.
He only has 2 games this year of multiple touchdown passes. He has no touchdown passes over the last 2 games. But as you mentioned, the matchup is just exactly what you want. The Bengals allow the 7th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Justin Fields carved them up. Now, he only threw 1 passing touchdown. Breece Hall had the other, but he did pass for 244. For him, that's a big day. Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdowns against them a couple weeks ago. You have to hope that Joe Flacco, is in this game to, hopefully you get that shootout. Because if he's not, that might take a little bit away. And you just got to hope that they don't rely on the run too much either. But I think if you have Caleb Williams, you're probably starting him this week. Now you might have drafted him with Drake May. That's different. Obviously, I think you're going to go Drake May pretty much every week. But I mean, Caleb Williams is probably right around the 8th, 9th quarterback this week, where I know I'm starting him in a couple leagues, and I'm hoping that we get the big game, because last week the yards were there. He had 285 passing yards, but no touchdowns. And he had DJ Moore wide open in the end zone on that 4th down play to end their last drive, and he missed them. And yeah, it's been inconsistent for Williams. And last week was a season high in pass attempts, 2nd most yards, but no touchdowns were there. He did rush for 24 yards. He's run a little bit. He can give you 20 yards here and there. So this is a matchup though that he's got to produce, because if he comes out with another bad game, you might not use him the rest of the year.
Yeah, he really needs to turn things around. And when we say they've turned to their run game since the bye, they're ranking 27th in dropback rate over expected right now. And so rest of season, I was looking at this from Dwayne McFarland and Matthew Friedman, but Williams actually fell to QB 16 in points per game in the rest of season projections, which is not great. So you do want to see things turn around here, and hopefully, and you know what, no better team to do that against than the Cincinnati Bengals. And like you said, if Joe Flacco can't go, then this is going to be one where we're going to have to downgrade that offense just a little bit, but we've seen Browning out there before. So you'll kind of know what you're getting in those situations. You want to see a little bit more Rome Odunze. He's going to get DJ Turner, I think, this week. DJ Turner, by the way, has not been horrible when traveling. I mean, he's gone against Jefferson, Sutton, Jameson Williams. What are we talking about? Romeo Doubs, DK Metcalf. But those receivers actually only averaged 9.5 fantasy points per game. But again, against the Bengals, you're starting everyone. So that's what you're looking at here.
Yeah, Odunze is dealing with a heel injury that he said has been bothering him for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So
he was practicing limited though yesterday, right?
That's I expect him. Yeah, I expect him to play, but you saw Deebo Samuel have a heel injury, and he played through it, was fine, and then it started to impact his production. Let's hope it's not the same with Odunze, because the Bears already had their bye week.
Yeah, please don't do that.
I hope not.
Chase Brown on the other side here, since we're on this game. What we're looking at, I still think that he's one I've been trying to look around in my leagues for running backs that maybe people are a little bit lower on. But this is another one where I think if you have him, you're putting him out there. Again, you just hope that Joe Flacco plays. That's really the big key here.
Yeah, it is, because we've seen the efficiency go up for Brown with the change in quarterback. I'm still a little concerned about the volume, because we have seen Samaje Perine involved. Now, Brown's been able to overcome it with efficiency, which is something we didn't see early in the year. But again, this should be a good scoring environment. Brown is a tricky player right now. Like, is he a buy low or sell high? Like, it depends on how you look at it, right? Yeah, if you have him, you're starting him. He's got to be like a borderline RB1 this week. But you are concerned about Perine cutting in a little too much, because the appeal of Brown was, 20 touches every single week, the volume, and he's not getting there now. I mean, he's getting, 13 to 16.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Again, it's all comes down if this offense continues to put up points, that'll put them in a spot to potentially get some touchdowns and maybe steal a target or two away from Jamar Chase once in a while.
You just want Flacco out there. Actually, Brown has a 56% snap share since week 5.
Yes, it's not great.
Flacco, again, in 3 games with him, Brown has averaged 15.5 points, a good 68 utilization score as well. So that's positive, but there is overall some risk. Yeah, over the last 3 games, he's averaged 10.7 attempts, 3 targets as well. I'm one, and it could be wrong, and no one's actually given me Chase Brown or traded with me, but he is still one that I'm looking at their rest of season schedule, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I really like, the potential for them in the fantasy playoffs, but like you said, Adam, it could be, we don't know yet if this is a buy low or sell high kind of situation, but I'm trying to figure it out before we get there for week 9. So again, another part of this offense that hopefully is able to stick it out and give you some good fantasy points this week. What about, I want to go over to Jordan Mason. Saw a few questions over there from Jordan Mason. He's a faller, right? There's no other way that we can look at him. He's averaged 5.3 points per game in games with Aaron Jones back this season. And we saw it last week where, Aaron Jones is back, and they're kind of RB3s for me right now is where I have him in my rankings, but not something you love.
It's not good, right, for Jordan Mason right now because you got Aaron Jones back. You have the change in quarterback with J.J. McCarthy, the bad offensive line, and game script dependent for Mason. And we saw last week when it fell apart, Mason did absolutely nothing. So it's this is how it goes. Sometimes it can change very quickly, and that's the case for Mason, where a couple weeks ago, you're like, yeah, I'm getting him in there. Great start. Now you're like, do I have a replacement for him? Because he's touchdown dependent, and they are underdogs this week going against the Lions, who are coming off their bye. It is a 9.5 point spread. Total is 48.5. So you got to hope that McCarthy comes out, plays well, and keeps it competitive. Mason will get those goal line carries, but we all know when you're just relying on that and you're not involved in the passing game that much, it can lead to an extremely low floor, and that's what we're looking at right now with Jordan Mason.
It's the same conversation that we had about him a couple weeks ago. I remember a caller calling in and saying it was between one player and Jordan Mason. We said Jordan Mason, and you just hope that he falls into the end zone. And he did, but that's not how you want to play it the rest of the season. Again, his historical comps, and this is not very good, averaged 8.1 points. Only 10% of them secured a top 36 finish. So you know that the Lions, like you said, are 8.5 point favorites in this one. That could push Jordan Mason off the field pretty quickly, with Aaron Jones being more of the passing down back. So again, like you said, you hope that JJ McCarthy looks a little bit better and that it's less, right? It's got to be less conservative than what we saw in the first few games with him. They can't go out there like that.
Yeah, hopefully not.
O'Connell can. I mean, they can't. There's nowhere to hide him now. You just have to show. You just have to show what he has, and if it's not good, you roll with it the rest of the way, and you have to figure it out next season.
And then teams will see that too, right? And it'll be easier for them to rely and focus on stopping the run if they know that McCarthy's not going to be aggressive and pass a lot. So yeah, this will be a game that everyone is watching for sure for fantasy purposes to see if there's any improvement from McCarthy. Can the offensive line give him at least some time? Because we expect the Lions probably to jump out to a lead. And if they're down 2 scores, they're not going to be able to run the whole game.
Rankings riser Brock Bowers right here practicing in full, so he is going to be ready to go. But man, that knee injury was brutal. He had 15.5 points in the game that he got injured. That was week 1, right? I mean, it had to have been week 1. Yeah, it was.
I think it was, yeah.
And he just hasn't, you can tell he just has not been himself since then. But, good quotes coming out of their practice over the last couple of days. I've got Brock Bowers as my tight end 5. But if you have him, you don't need us to tell you you're playing them. But he's going up against Jacksonville this week, so he is a riser for me.
Yeah, and you could see he clearly was not healthy. I remember there was one play where he was going towards the end zone, and he kind of just slowed down. You could see he didn't have the same burst. The defender caught up to him, broke up the pass, and if he was healthy, that would have been a touchdown. So they probably should have sat him immediately. He tried to play through it. We see some players do that sometimes, but now you hope that he's back completely healthy and can give you a strong finish for those that took him late first round, early second round, maybe sometimes late second round as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's been a brutal pick so far because you have so many other tight ends that were going later that have outproduced him, but he's certainly capable of finishing as a top 2, top 3 tight end the rest of the way from the scoring now to the rest of the year, and you got to hope that's the case and that he's good to go.
We've got the Trick or Treat Trust Meter. Say that 5 times fast. Presented by Vanicream. So we're going to go Trick or Treat Trust Meter on a scale of 1 to 10. Go through guys that we trust and maybe don't trust going into the weekend. We're going to break it down here next. Tweet or tweet. That's so good. Happy Halloween, everyone. If you missed it, you have to go to YouTube to see Adam's costume. It's actually amazing. Walking down the street and you saw it in the window, said I had to have it.
I have my name, so you could just
there you go.
Find me.
There you go. You can find it. It's such a good day. That is so funny. Oh my
Thanks
goodness.
for participating with us, Kendall.
I've got it locked down. You know what's funny
Trick or treat.
That's Adam from earlier. That's amazing. Can we use that year round? I think we have to.
Probably,
it's not just for today. That's just absolutely incredible. So yesterday I was dressed up for LGTV. I was in all the camouflage, but I had put every single name of a player. I texted you. I said, who are players that we have not seen so far this season? So I had like Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson. Wasn't that clever? That was good.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of disappointments.
I know. Yeah, no kidding. Caleb Johnson, where are you? What are we doing?
That is
really bad.
That's what actually,
I don't think
that
there's
might be
anyone worse. Actually,
I was gonna say that might be the worst pick this year because there were. Now he started to go down draft boards as we got closer to draft season, but there were a lot of drafts he was going 5th, 6th round, and you have got nothing from him for a guy that wasn't even injured. So yeah, that might be the worst pick this year.
It's got to be. Oh, and by the way, you can see Adam's costume. They tweeted it over on X. So Sirius XM Fantasy on X. So make sure you go and check that out. But yeah, players, where have they been? I don't know. They're just, they're camouflaged and we're not going to find them the rest of the season. But we are going to go through the Trick or Treat Trust Meter here, presented by Vanicream. Vanicream gives guys no nonsense, fragrance-free care designed for sensitive skin because even guys need a little bit of help. So you're going to rate the players, but I'm just going to have you say trick or treat here, and then we can rate them 1 through 10 on how much we trust them going into the weekend. Let me start with this one. Quentin Johnston, wide receiver for the Chargers. Is he going to be a trick this weekend, or is he going to be a treat? A treat meaning that maybe you should go ahead and start him. It's really just a question of whether you think Johnston's first 4 games were a fluke or if it's just what we're going to see because of this offense and a lot of mouths to feed the rest of the season.
I think you have to say trick right now based on what we've seen, right? Because we saw the snap count really go down last week. Now, it did for other receivers, too. It was a blowout. Johnston was at 52%. McConkey was only 58%. Keenan Allen was actually 25%.
Yeah, it's been bad.
And Trey Harris was 59%. But I think part of that was the blowout. The biggest issue, though, I think, is the emergence of Oronde Gadsden, right? If you have him, it seems McConkey is a guy you could count on. And I think it's going to fluctuate with Allen and Johnston on a week-to-week basis. But we've already seen now Johnston get that 0 last week, and then even the week before where he did score, he only had 2 for 30, and that was coming off the hamstring injury where he missed a game. So it's not that Johnston is a fluke. It's just in this offense, there's no way he can duplicate what he was doing the first 4 weeks where McConkey was off to a slow start and you didn't have Gadsden involved. And even now, Kamani Vidal is running the ball very well. I still think this is primarily a passing offense, but it's tough. Johnston could easily go out there this week and have a big game, and maybe it's Allen who's quiet or McConkey has a lesser game. But right now, I don't think you can count on him.
And Vidal is a smash play this weekend. This is a really good spot for him. So, you're starting him absolutely everywhere. And like you said, I think we mentioned this yesterday, but if you picked up Oronde Gadsden off waivers, he is, if you do have a better tight end, he's flex worthy. I mean, I feel like there's no way that you can be sitting him based on what we've seen so far this season. I think you're flexing him this weekend.
In
right?
2 leagues. So
that's crazy.
And this is another example too, because I think people make this mistake, right? They might go, well, I have an elite tight end, so I'm not going to spend any money on Gadsden. I think that's a mistake. Just get the player and then figure it out. Now, the 2 leagues I have him in, there's no trade, so I can't trade him. But many of you listening might have trades, and if you have Gadsden and another tight end, then you can try and move one. But yeah, I'm flexing Gadsden and Tucker Kraft and Gadsden and Tyler Warren. Like those guys, And look, maybe Gaston finally has a down week one of these weeks. It's going to happen, right? But right now, the guy is getting open. Herbert's looking for him. He played the most snaps of all the players last week. He played more than any wide receiver. So he's on the field a lot. He's running a lot of routes, and he looks great. I mean, he just looks like dominant out there.
Yeah.
And all that production really came I think, was it all the receptions in the first half last week? I think it might have been 5 for 77 or 4 of them were. Yeah, because remember, they were up big. They didn't need to do much in the second half. They were running the ball, but it's 2 straight games with a touchdown for Gaston. And he's got 8, 9, and 5 targets the last 3 games, at least 5 receptions in 3 straight. So, and he's making big plays, a 40-yard catch, a 53-yard catch.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go away. Yeah.
No, he looks legit. All right, trick or treat. Woody Marks for the Texans. Tougher matchup this weekend. It's the Seattle Seahawks that they're taking on, but maybe a little bit of a rookie bump since the bye week there. So what do you think? Trick or treat for Woody Marks in week 9?
I want to say treat because Seattle is good against the run, but they do struggle against pass catching running backs, and that's what Marks can do. He did pop up though on the injury report yesterday with a calf issue. So I still would I wish we saw him more. Last week, the snap count was 44% for Chubb, 40% for Marks after he had 63% in week 7, which was a season high for Marks. So I still would like to see him used a little bit more, but this might be a game where it favors him, where he, catches 4 or 5 passes as they're playing from behind, because it's probably going to be tough to run on Seattle. We have seen the last 2 games, Marks has 9 targets, 7 catches, and did have that receiving touchdown as well.
Why did I say Seattle? Seattle's playing the Commanders.
Oh, it's Denver, right?
Denver.
Yeah, it's still a tough matchup.
Yeah, still that's why I was like, wait, wrong matchup. But yeah, Broncos on the road against the Texans, but still tough on the ground. But it is one where I want to say treat as well. And if you have Woody Marks, I know it's been an up and down roller coaster ride with him, but you're hanging on just to see and hope that you do get a little bit more out of week 9. Oh, trick or treat Chuba Hubbard. Week 9. After all that we've heard, what do you think? You think they change it now and go to Rico Dowdle? Trick or treat?
They should. I think this is obviously a trick. It's really difficult to start Chuba Hubbard right now. If you just listen to the comments from Canales, he is indicating, all right, at least we will go in the direction of Rico Dowdle at this point. It should have been done immediately. I mean, I wrote it up and talked about it. Like, they've made a huge mistake here. Hubbard has just not been as good as Rico Dowdle, and whether it's injury related, but he's averaging 3.6 yards per carry since he came back. 2.2 against the Jets, 2.8 against Buffalo. Did find the end zone last week. Only had 1 target, but Rico Dowdle is more explosive right now. He's breaking big plays. So yeah, Hubbard is definitely a trick.
All right, last one. Excuse me. Whoa, last one here. Christian Watson. Trick or treat for the Packers wide receiver that came back and had, he had an impact. What do you think?
Based on history, we probably should go trick, right? He played 56% of the snaps, which was 3rd amongst wide receivers. Even Matthew Golden played more, although you wouldn't tell it from the box score. You have Tucker Kraft there too. I mean, he looked good, Christian Watson.
He had a 65% route participation.
Yeah. But again, this still seems like it's going to be a boom or bust play, right? If he gets a long catch or finds the end zone, it's going to be great. If not, I mean, he easily could go back to 2 for 30 this week. So they're 13.5-point favorites. So they might be out to a big lead, and then you might see potentially Emmanuel Wilson in the second half because, again, you got to be careful with Jacobs if the game script plays, or maybe the Panthers keep it close. But, yeah, I'm going to say more trick here just based on what we've seen with this offense and how they can spread it around. But if you did pick up Watson a week or 2 ago, you have to be encouraged with that first game.
Absolutely. Like I said, he had the 65% route participation, 12% target share, and was operating really as their wide receiver 3 in that game last week. So you are encouraged, but I do agree with you on maybe a trick going into this weekend. Again, that was the Vanicream Trust Meter here. Vanicream gives guys no nonsense, fragrance-free care designed for sensitive skin because even guys need a little bit of help. We have breaking news, Adam, and it is not good breaking news. It is a wide receiver that we thought was on the rise here going on IR. We're going to tell you who it is coming up next. We don't have good news here, Adam.
Yeah, this is not the song for this news.
It's a great song though, right? Don't you think? Oh man. Yeah, not the time though. So sorry. I'm like dancing. I'm like, yeah, let's go. No, it's a great song. But we've got breaking news here. Jaguars are placing wide receiver cornerback Travis Hunter on injured reserve due to a knee injury per head coach Liam Cohen. Hunter will now miss a minimum of 4 games. We know that. And this is I want to say shocking, Adam, because we had no idea that this was going on here. This is a team coming off a bye week where, usually you come back, everyone's healthy and good to go. We had no idea. So now, if you are a Travis Hunter manager, you're going to be out minimum of 4 games. And it's more disappointing because we were asking questions yesterday about if Travis Hunter's week 7 breakout was for real, if he was really going to turn this corner and they were going to start giving him a bigger workload, a bigger role, because the week 7 game for him was phenomenal. And now we don't have him for 4 weeks. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so he popped up on the injury report yesterday, and then apparently now it's being reported that he was hurt during practice. So, yeah, this is awful because if you did have Travis Hunter, it's been a frustrating first half, and you saw that big breakout game in London right before the bye, and there was talk like every week. Yeah, we're going to see Travis Hunter more involved, and it really didn't happen until that game. So you were getting excited because you're like, all right, here we go, the second half. We've seen rookies get that bump during that bye week, and you got to figure they were game planning to get him more involved on the offensive side because we did see those snaps go up, and we loved what we saw right before the bye. So, yeah, this is brutal because, you look at his snap counts the last few weeks, they've gone from 56 to 67 to 78 to 87. So they were slowly ramping him up. And, yeah, this stinks now. And I guess what you have to hope if you have Brian Thomas that he gets going and that they, get him more targets. Obviously, a lot has been on him. He's dropped passes. He doesn't look like the same player like he did last year. He was very explosive last year. We just haven't seen it. He's also dealing with a shoulder issue as well. So that's the hope if you have Brian Thomas. Like, well, okay, because the talk was, yeah, Hunter is going to be the featured wide receiver. Can we see Thomas turn it around? I mean, I guess if you have him, you really have no choice in many instances that you just have to start him at this point.
Starting him.
Because I know I thought I had him in way more leagues, but I don't. I think it's only like maybe 2, maybe 3. So, yeah, I'm just going to start him. But, yeah, this is really unfortunate because you really wanted to see what Hunter could do here in the second half.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's just absolutely brutal and unfortunate because, like I said, when we last saw them, again, they are coming off their bye. Travis Hunter had the breakout, 8 receptions, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown, 13 targets on all of that. So again, you're upgrading all the Jaguars receivers though, even in this matchup because they're going up against the Raiders defense. They've allowed the 4th most catches and fantasy points to receivers this year. Parker Washington, I'll say, is a good pickup. Just go and get him. I would we be shocked on an overreaction Monday if we saw Parker Washington get more work than Brian Thomas Jr.? It would be gross, but I mean, Parker Washington, if you need wide receiver depth, if you need a spot start even this weekend, Parker Washington jumps all the way up the list because of this Travis Hunter injury. So if he's available, and he actually might be, Adam. I mean, he might be floating around out there. I saw him in a couple leagues of mine a few days ago. So if he is out there, I would go and pick him up. Let me see, where is he? Park. Why can't I spell?
I know he's available in a lot of Yahoo leagues.
He's only 2% rostered in Yahoo leagues, so you can go and get him.
Second in team target percentage the last 2 games. He played 88% of the snaps in the last game. So yeah, there's an opportunity there for him for sure. Especially again if Brian Thomas continues to struggle. And I think Brenton Strange can return. Oh no, I think he's got 2 more games he has to miss.
I think it
2
was
more
at
games.
Least, yeah, I was going to say at least 1.
I think it's 2, right? He missed week 6 and 7. And then 8 they were on bye. So it's 4 games. So I think he has 2 more.
Absolutely brutal. Again, Travis Hunter placed on IR. So if you have him, he is going to be out for a minimum of 4 games. But at least we can say this Raiders defense is really bad, Adam. So this matchup this weekend will at least give you a little bit more potential for fantasy points. If you have Brian Thomas Jr., you're going to upgrade him a little bit. Parker Washington, if he is available on waivers still, go and pick him up because there is potential for him to have a big 4-week stretch here with Travis Hunter out. We're going to continue on. It is time for that Fantasy Life Life water cooler, going through all the news and notes you need to know and all your questions here. Coming up next. It is about that time. Time for the Fantasy Life water cooler right here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. If you want to see Adam's costume that he's wearing today, you can go to Sirius XM on Twitter over there, Sirius XM Fantasy on X to check out the photo that was tweeted. But also give us a like and a follow. Subscribe to our new YouTube channel where you can see every single show every single day posted right after we're done here. So make sure you go and check that out. And as always, we're going to be taking your phone calls here and as many of your questions as we can get to. So if you've got the time, 888-963-2682 is the phone number to call in, or you can press that new call in button on the Sirius XM app. We are also over there on X at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis. So I see some questions coming in. We'll make sure to get to them and go through all the news, Adam. FantasyLife.com. That's where all of our rankings, projections, articles are 100% free for the articles. But if you have been thinking about Fantasy Life Plus, make sure you go to fantasylife.com/comet, COMET, because once you download the AI powered browser, which by the way is amazing, I use it every single day, takes about 2 minutes to do. Once you download that, you will get full access to Fantasy Life Plus for free for a whole calendar year. And this offer is expiring soon, so make sure you go and do that today. fantasylife.com/comet, COMET. Download that browser and then get Fantasy Life Plus for free for 1 year. We're going to go through all the news, Adam. We're going to go through, all the questions that we have in Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Yes.
You look great.
Happy Halloween. Dress up, enjoy it.
Have fun.
Get that candy.
Get the candy. Adam's already eaten all the candy. What was it? Snickers?
That was last week. Yeah. It was a bag of the mini Snickers. I ate the whole thing. Oh, not at one day, over a few.
Well, so 2 days.
2 to 3 days. I think the last day was Sunday watching football. I saw 7 of them, and I just grabbed them.
Those are pretty good. What
Snickers
about Three Musketeers?
They're good. I don't like it as much as Snickers, but I do like them.
Yeah, they're okay.
I haven't had that in a while. I don't eat a lot of candy.
Milky Way? That's a good one.
Milky Way is fine. Snickers is still top of that.
But it's always going to be the peanut butter cups.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so good. Oh, so good. Absolutely. All right, we're getting into the news and notes that you need to know going into week 9. Again, give us a call if you can. Send us your questions at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there. I just want to hit this one more time in case people weren't with us in the last segment, but we did get breaking news that Travis Hunter is going on injured reserve. And this is just so unfortunate, Adam, because not only are we missing him for a minimum of 4 games, it's after we saw a little bit of a breakout in week 7. They went on their bye in week 8, and now starting in week 9, he will miss minimum of 4 games. But you said this during the break, and I tried to look everything up that I could, but according to Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union, he is reporting not only that Travis Hunter is going to be placed on IR, but he's reporting that it was a non-contact knee injury during yesterday's practice. And we don't want to assume anything. We're going to learn, from the coaches, however long it takes, what that means. But whenever we usually hear non-contact, it is not usually a good thing. So just keep that in mind if you're a Travis Hunter manager, that when you are going to the waiver wire and needing to pick someone up, that you know that it's going to be for a minimum of 4 games and maybe even longer. But hopefully, Adam, it was just a little blip. But whenever we hear non-contact, it's never a good sign.
And the indication is some reporters are speculating here in Liam Cohen's comments that it could be for this season, because he was asked whether Hunter would be back for the playoff push or January, and he said, we're still evaluating. And we know how these non-contact injuries go, so we're still waiting for further details. But right now, it does not sound good for Travis Hunter returning this season. For now, he's going to be put on injured reserve and miss at least 4 games, but it certainly sounds like that this could be longer and potentially this season.
So just know that when you're going to the waiver wire, if we have the best case scenario, which we're obviously all hoping that we do, that would mean that he is eligible, to return week 13 against the Titans. So we just hope that he recovers quickly here and that we get better news. But again, if you're going to the waiver wire, Parker Washington is really going to rise up the ranks for me, Adam. And he's probably going to be that second guy behind Brian Thomas Jr. That is going to go. And I think Parker Washington should be available in a lot of leagues that you're in right now. So if you head to the waiver wire, try and pick him up if you can. But he is one that's definitely streamable now, flex worthy, just because of the matchup against the Raiders, because we know this Raiders team isn't necessarily the best, to say it in a nice way. So that's why Parker Washington, I mean, the Raiders give up against receivers. This defense has allowed the 4th most catches and fantasy points to receivers and the 7th most yards and 9 touchdowns. So he could actually be locked in your lineup this week as a flex play.
Yeah, it's just the opportunity should be there for him now. And no, he's not had the best year, but we've seen 2 games this year where he's had double-digit targets. They even gave him 3 carries last week, so they were trying to get him the ball and, taking Travis Hunter out of the picture, and that just opens up more opportunities for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, especially in this matchup. On their schedule, they do have some tough opponents ahead, but at least for this week, especially if you had Travis Hunter and you're looking for answers right now, Washington could be available on the waiver wire in many leagues.
All right, continuing on with some of the injury reports. I'll go through more of these rapid fire here, Adam. Calvin Ridley remained out of practice yesterday.
Who?
Where's he been all season, though? I was going to say.
I should put him he still plays?
Yeah, well, it's because you drafted him everywhere. So he said, I'm not going to actually show up today or this year.
Actually, I do have him in a few leagues, but good thing. There were a couple late. I'm like, you know what? I already have. I'm going to go in a different direction. Thank goodness for that.
Thank goodness. Alvin Kamara remained a limited participant with that ankle injury. So again, Devin Neal should not be on the waiver wire. If he is in your league, unless it's a shallow, 10 team, then that's not necessarily the direction you need to go. But Devin Neal should be rostered more times than not. Bryce Young was a full participant in practice again, which is good for them because, you're looking at Bryce Young hopefully playing this week because Andy Dalton has a broken thumb. So they can't go back to him.
Yeah, it sounds like Young.
But
I think Young was a full participant yesterday, so it sounds like he's good to go.
Woody Marks, you have to just watch for because he was added to the injury report as a limited participant. Which is one that's concerning because it is later in the week, Adam. So we always want to pay attention to guys that pop up later on the injury report. He has not been ruled out, but this does suggest that he did suffer an injury in practice that obviously puts his availability for this weekend in doubt, which is disappointing too because we were just talking about how Woody Marks could be someone that is a riser this weekend. They're at home. The Houston Texans are at home. It's a tough matchup going up against the Denver Broncos, but you just have to watch out for that. And that would make Nick Chubb, if he's not able to go, that would make Nick Chubb a riser, even though it's not the best of matchups.
Yeah, I still wouldn't want to play Nick Chubb in that matchup because I just don't see him doing much against this Denver defense. So, yeah, I wouldn't love it because what are you going to get out of him? I mean, we saw last week in a favorable game script. He had 17 carries for 56 yards. I mean, he's just the only way he comes through is if he scores a touchdown. So I still wouldn't be very high on him.
Surtain is out. Speaking of this game, Surtain is out for a month. So listen, though, let me just say this. This Denver defense is still nasty. Of course, it's led by Patrick Surtain. And this is better news for Nico Collins managers because he's not going to get that shadow coverage. But even with Surtain out, this matchup is not a walk in the park. Denver's overall pass defense has been really good. They're 3rd best in EPA against the pass, have allowed only 2 touchdowns and a league low in yards per target at 6.3. But it is an upgrade for, Nico Collins. I haven't seen, is Kirk going to be back?
He was practicing. Yeah, he might be back, and then he'll be back on the sideline after the 3rd quarter, probably.
I said that in the offseason. He's never healthy. It would be, Jaden Higgins, I think, does have a chance to step up in this offense, but he'd have to jump over the depth chart of Xavier Hutchinson. I still think he's talented enough to do that, though. We could see him really, I don't want to say break out, but this is the part of the season where some of these rookies really do get a little bit of a bump halfway through. So I'm still holding on to him and Jalen Noel, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just the Texans have been so slow to give these guys opportunities. And when they did last week, both looked good. Noel still only played 39% of the snaps, but he was productive. Higgins played a season high 83%, but I think a lot of that was because Nico Collins was out. So what is going to happen when Collins is back this week? So you got to keep an eye on those guys. You hope that they don't seem to be going away from Hutchinson. Like, he's just on the field a lot. And you would like to see these rookies get more involved. So, yeah, to me, both of them, the rookie receivers for the Texans, are guys that you're just stashing on the bench and waiting to see if their role grows. And so that's why I'm very interested to see what it looks like this week. It's a tough matchup, so it's difficult to gauge because it's a low total. It's 40.5. So assuming Nico and Kirk are back, you're probably going to see them play Kirk maybe less as they ease him back in. But I still can't count on Kirk being healthy this entire year. I mean, he missed the beginning of the year, came back, got hurt again. I mean, it's just
what he
at
does.
this point, that's what it is with him. So,
yeah.
But yeah, Higgins and Noel guys, you're keeping on the bench to see if they can have their role grow because they have shown flashes when they've been given the opportunity. It's just we haven't seen it enough.
Bears tight end Cole Kmet was back at practice after that back injury. So we'll see. It sounds like he's trending in the right direction. And to me, that looks like he might be able to play going up this weekend, which is, I mean, it's good, but if you're a Cole Kmet manager, but this is a really good matchup against Cincinnati for both of them. I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to say that if you have Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland, that both of them are playable, but that's how bad this Bengals defense has been, especially against tight ends, Adam. Cincinnati has allowed a high 27.5 fantasy points per game to tight ends since week 5. What are we doing?
They have allowed
That's insane.
10 touchdowns to tight ends this year. And it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. Mason Taylor scored last week. The Steelers had 4 touchdowns from their tight ends in week 7. Freiermuth had 2. Jonnu Smith, Darnell Washington. Brock Wright has scored a touchdown against them. Josh Oliver has scored a touchdown against them. I can make up a name now and say he scored a touchdown, and you guys will believe me.
That sounds right.
Right? So but yeah, if Kmet does play, it does make it more challenging, but maybe cheap DFS plays, maybe look at props for touchdowns for those guys. Loveland, you would have felt better about playing him this week with no Cole Kmet because we did see last week that he played a season high 81% of the snaps. The week before was 67%. So I'm trying to remember. Do you remember what point in the game Kmet got hurt week 7?
I don't.
Because, yeah, it was 67% for Loveland and 41% for Kmet. So, it's been bad for Loveland. As for a guy that was drafted that high, we expected, okay, he's going to produce immediately. He did have the injury to open the year, got hurt again. So it's been a disappointment. You would have felt much better about starting him if Kmet is out. I guess there's still a possibility that Kmet is not all the way back.
Still, we'll have to watch today.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate because it's tough to really start either guy in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Kmet will probably be questionable today, and then they'll give us the full look once that game comes down to it on Sunday. Let's see. I think that was Ramondre. You know what? Ramondre Stevenson did not practice yesterday, and I think that's pretty big. Of course, today is going to be the real tell of what he's going to look like, but this is a toe injury, and that's the wrong side of questionable for me, Adam. When I see Thursday reports and someone still isn't practicing, of course, there's a lot of times when Friday comes around and they can change it and turn around, but this could be, dare I say, if he's not good to go, Travion Henderson time? Probably not. They'll probably pick someone up off the practice squad. But this is one that you do have to watch out for and make sure that you have a backup plan just in case you do have Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots.
I guess Terrell Henderson becomes the starting running back here.
Anyone else besides Travion Henderson, basically. They're at home in this one against the Falcons, too.
We're all going to start Henderson this week.
I'm not.
And you're not? If Ramondre's out, you're not starting him.
If Ramondre is out, I will start him.
I think we have no choice at that point unless a report comes out saying that Jennings is going to be the lead back.
For my mental health, Adam, I can't do it unless Ramondre's out.
And they also have Dearness Johnson, right?
Great.
That was called up from the practice squad, or he's on the practice squad.
I don't know. I just laugh. At this point, you can only shake your head and laugh, or else you'll just cry because of Travion Henderson.
That'll be the big outcry on social media on Sunday when Stevenson's out and Henderson still gets 5 touches.
Stop. That'd be so bad. But pay attention to Ramondre Stevenson for sure. Again, did not practice yesterday. We'll see if he gets that full practice in today, and that will be key. I think that was it on the injuries. Isaiah Pacheco did not practice yesterday. We kind of knew that. If you have Isaiah Pacheco, it is more than likely he's not going to play. They consider him more week to week with that MCL sprain, so he's on the wrong side there. Did I miss anyone? No, I think that was good. You're going to get Puka Nacua back, it sounds like, this weekend. And we'll see if Kyler Murray's out there. They've been being really weird about Kyler Murray. And it feels like they're trying to hide, they're trying to pull a jet, right? Pull the Jets and say, keep it a secret. So maybe we get Jacoby Brissett, but it sounds like Kyler Murray's trending in the right direction. They're preparing for Kyler Murray to start in Week 9 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, it was just weird. He was supposed to speak with the media yesterday. He didn't. Brissett was taking snaps with some of the starters yesterday in practice. So, yeah, this is an odd situation. We do expect Kyler Murray to play, and he is 9-0 lifetime going back to high school in that stadium in Texas.
I love that stat. That's such a fun stat. It really is. It's a good one.
Well, it's time to give him that first L on Monday.
Let's see it. Let's do it. You can't play softball then. Make sure you don't have a softball.
Oh, no, game. I don't have a game.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect.
I'm good to go.
Let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's go out to, Mike in Seattle. Shout out, Seattle. Let's go to Mike here. What do you got for us? Potentially. Maybe I scared him away with the Seattle shout out.
Yeah, you made him cry. He was thinking about the Mariners.
Cry? Okay, well, don't do that. Why do we have to bring them up? Mike, what do you got for us?
Hey, guys, I have a start-sit question. It's kind of a rough full-point PPR running back. I have Aaron Jones, Zonathan Knight, and I just heard you guys talking about Ramondre Stevenson. Out of those three full-point PPR, who should I start?
Jones, Knight, and Ramondre Stevenson. Bam Knight has a really good matchup this weekend.
He does on Monday against the Cowboys. So, yeah, I think I'd
go Knight.
I would too, which is crazy, right? If you would have asked this like 2-3 weeks ago. But yeah, he's got the great matchup. They should be every Cowboys game is like over 60 points. They can't stop anyone. So good opportunity for him to score a touchdown, pick up some yards. So yeah, I would go with him. I mean, the problem with Aaron Jones is it's a split. Now, he sets up in the more favorable game script this week if it goes according to plan. If you believe Detroit's going to jump out to a lead, they're 9.5-point favorites. So that could lead to more Aaron Jones on the field catching passes. But, what if we're surprised and they play from ahead? So there's that goes into it. Whereas with Zonathan Knight, you pretty much know he's assured of getting touches against an awful defense. So I would go with him.
It's close for me. I've got Zonathan Knight at RB20 and then Ramondre Stevenson at 22. But again, we have to watch out for that injury. So if you have him, just pay very close attention to that. But Bam Knight, again, is getting a really good matchup. And this is a huge boost against a Dallas defense that's allowed the second most yards and fantasy points and 10 touchdowns to running backs this season. 10 touchdowns is the fifth most. So I really like Zonathan Knight this weekend, and hopefully he can carry out and help you to a win. Appreciate you calling in there, Mike. And again, fantasylife.com to get all of our rankings, all of our projections, everything that you need. We've got a little bit of breaking news here with the Miami Dolphins, Adam, that we're going to talk about. We're going to continue going through your questions over there on X as well. And the biggest Week 9 questions that we have. Rico Dowdle looking at JJ McCarthy. We're going to break it all down here coming up next. This is Fantasy Life right here, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Excited to have you all here with us on this Friday. Happy Halloween. Make sure you go over to YouTube and follow our new YouTube channel. Subscribe, give it a like, watch the videos, see Adam's costume for today. It's just yeah, there it is. It's just absolutely fantastic. Or you can go to Sirius Sirius XM Fantasy on X, see a picture of it there. It's a scary day, Adam, because not only do we get Travis Hunter, bad news, putting him on IR, going to be out a minimum of 4 weeks. Miami Dolphins are making some changes here. So it's not the head coach. And let me just be clear. We don't want anyone losing their jobs here, but it is their general manager, Chris Greer, and the Dolphins have mutually parted ways, according to multiple of, Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, all those guys. So he's been the GM there since 2016. And it's obvious that the Dolphins are in a little bit of a tailspin. They're sitting at 2-7. So we figured that some changes were going to come because you just can't look that bad on a primetime game and expect a lot of people to stay. So we'll see what happens here. And this maybe makes a shift for them also with the trade deadline coming down. Again, that's next Tuesday, November 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern is the trade deadline. So I don't know if this will, turn things around and make things a little bit different, but yeah, mutually agreed to part ways for both of them.
Yeah, not surprising. We figured there were going to be major changes in Miami. It has been an awful year for them. I think most of us expected it looking at this roster, but it's been an awful start. They had a glimmer of hope last week with a nice win, and then Just looked awful last night. I mean, again, as we mentioned, the first half moved the ball well, just a lot of mistakes, and it's just vibes have been bad in
Yeah.
Miami since the beginning of the year.
It's not been good. So again, we'll see what else, if anything else, is on the horizon for this team. But just not good vibes. We could say that scary, spooky. You would even say for Halloween here. I see some questions over here on X as well, so I want to make sure we get to as many as we can before we go into more of the big questions for Week 9. Wanted to go over to Ted. He said he has quarterback injuries. Brock Purdy, Joe Flacco, Kyler Murray. Do you think any of them start? And he said we do a great job. Appreciate you, Ted. Wow, that's brutal. I would say Brock Purdy, but who knows, Adam,
Nah,
right? There's no way.
I don't know about that.
I'm hoping Kyler Murray. That's really
The
difficult if you have
problem
all
is the
three of
game is
them, though.
Monday. Look, you have until Sunday morning, obviously, to make this decision. I would say Murray likely plays, would be my guess.
Man, that is a brutal stretch, though, of three quarterbacks that you have with injuries, though. If you need a streamer, and this is just for everyone, not just for Ted over there, but would you suggest that he pick someone up in case
I mean, he
those
already
are
has three. You can't pick up a
And
fourth.
well, you could drop. Well, I don't know if you'd want to drop any of them, but yeah, you're hoping that Kyler Murray plays. Aaron Rodgers is not a bad quarterback streamer this week, though. I will say that. Going up against Indianapolis,
Yeah, you can
he's got a
pass on
three
them.
game. He's got
And
a
he'll probably,
3 game streak. He's got 16.7 or more fantasy points for the
yeah,
last
you figure
3.
they'll play from behind too. Although I don't know, is this the week that Colts get knocked off?
No,
You
what?
really don't think so? The line's only 3.5. Look, you know how
I'm not
the
picking him in Survivor. Let's just say that.
yeah, I wouldn't pick them, and so I already did anyway. I think, but yeah, I
Oh,
wouldn't pick them
nice.
this week. But this seems like a game that is going to be closer than people think, right? It's easy to say, oh, it's the Colts, they're rolling, and the Steelers coming off a game where they blew a lead. The Steelers are the team that when you expect them to win, they don't, and when you expect them to lose, they win. So I think this is going to be a tricky game for the Colts.
Oh, a trap game, huh?
It could be, yeah.
All right, all right. I see another one here asking Josh Downs or Parker Washington now that we got that news from Travis Hunter. Again, if you did not hear, Travis Hunter was placed on IR this morning with a knee injury. Non-contact, so we'll see if they give us more updates before he's able to return, but he's going to miss the next 4 games. So between Downs, let me see where I haven't updated, obviously, my rankings yet, Adam, because we got this news while we were on the air. I'm bad at multitasking. I really can't do it. Would you go Downs or Parker Washington?
Probably Parker Washington.
I
I
would
mean,
go
Downs did score a touchdown last week, but again, with Pittman there and Pierce and Warren, it's just there's so many players there, and the targets are just not going to be enough for Downs on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, I like, and we're going to all update our rankings here, fantasylife.com. But against this Raiders defense, they've allowed the 4th most catches and fantasy points to receivers. So I would go Parker Washington in this one. Another one here, it looks like Kyle Monungai, Chubb, or Brashard Smith.
Well, I
Not
think we got to
Chubb.
wait. So DeAndre Swift, who has not been practicing much the last couple weeks, is dealing with a groin issue. He did not practice Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So in recent weeks, he's been limited on Thursday, and he always plays. So I think you want to keep an eye on that. My guess is they're just being conservative and giving him that extra rest. I would expect to see him today at practice, maybe limited. So obviously, if he's out, then you can go Monungai. But my guess is he's going to Swift will play.
Yeah.
So who was it? It was Monungai, Chubb.
Monungai, Chubb, or Brashard Smith. I
guess with Chubb, if Woody Marks is out, I guess you would go with him again. I think it could be like 15 carries for 48 yards and like 1 catch.
Yeah.
So you would have to hope that he scores. But yeah, again, this is why like people always rush to make these starting lineup decisions. And a lot of times you can't make them right now because we're here on Friday. We're still waiting for final injury reports. You still have until Sunday morning to get this done. So don't rush to make these decisions because we just don't have all the information at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I do like DeAndre Swift's going to be so interesting after this week because he does have 2 really good, or I should say better matchups for the Bears and their schedule. So the next 2 games for the Bears, they're on the road this week against the Bengals, then they're at home against the Giants. After that, maybe he puts up such good numbers that he's a sell high candidate, and that's looking way far ahead. But I'm interested to see, because he had a 65% snap share, 60% of the attempts over the first 5 games, but over the last 2, those have dropped to 51% each, respectively. So I'm curious. Again, these are 2 really good games where you're going to hold on. But Swift right now, I don't know. Maybe he moves into sell territory after the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, look, the touches have been there, though. I think part of it has been they've just been running the ball a lot more while they get Monangai involved. Like, if you look at the touches for the last 4 games, he's had 18, 16, 20, and 13. And they were playing from behind last week. So, or maybe they're just trying to manage him with this injury.
Yeah, maybe. Just like the Seattle Seahawks, right? Just making sure that we don't get too much of Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I mean, that's
why
the
would we want
extreme
that?
case where that is not working out too well.
Why would we
The
need
team
that?
is winning, but it's not great for the fantasy prospects of that Seattle backfield when we all see Kenneth Walker is better.
It's brutal. How rough is it going to be this weekend with Tyler Shuck? How much of a downgrade is it? And it's more, if you have Chris Olave, depending on where you got him in drafts, it might be a situation where you just have to keep rolling him out there because of his average draft position. Maybe this more focuses the question on Rashid Shaheed, who could have been. I know I've been having to flex him week in and week out just because of the injuries, but how rough do you think it is going to be going from Spencer Rattler to Tyler Shuck, who it looks like they're just going to start the rest of the season too? It's not going to be a back and forth thing.
I think you're starting Olave. You're just hoping that the targets continue to go his way. They will be playing from behind. They're huge underdogs this week. I think it's 14.5 now. Rams favored, so they will be playing from behind. They haven't really been able to run the ball, so you just hope that Olave continues to get the targets. And I'm still starting him like I usually would until we see that it's just brutal. And maybe Shuck surprises us and plays well.
Yeah,
so I'm still starting Olave. I think you can't move him down too far. Shaheed depends on what you're comparing with. And Shaheed's the guy that just needs one big play can make his day. So he gets wide open. Shuck finds him. He can go off.
I think Shaheed's going to be on the move. Don't you? They're going to trade him.
Yeah, it sounds like it. There's talk that one of those guys is going to be moved.
He could be a really good, depending on where he lands. I mean, that could be one where it really boosts his fantasy value. Or it crumbles, and I was just gonna say, or it crumbles, and we have nothing good to say about it, and the fantasy gods just don't have us in their favor. I've seen, Alvin Kamara questions as well. That's just been, I don't know, Adam. There's not much to say about Alvin Kamara. It's tough to justify him even as a lineup lock right now. I know based on his average draft position that maybe again you're in a situation where you don't have better options, but this is a struggling Saints offense. His fantasy points have been horrible. He's reached 16 fantasy points, was the highest mark this season, and that was week 2 against San Francisco. Everything else has been 13, 6, 11, 9, 12, and the last 2 games, 5.9, 6.5. So this is not an easy test going up against the Rams, and just totally disappointing. We've probably hit the cliff.
I don't think people realize how bad he's been. I think he should be lower in rankings, and it's a name value thing. And people are just like, oh, well, he's getting the touches, but that's not even happening in some of these games. And he's not a big part of the passing game either. So it's awful if you have him, because I think many people are just like, oh, okay, it's Kamara, I'm going to start him. And when you look at the numbers, it's pretty bad. I understand he did get injured during the game last week, and it's not going to get better because we've mentioned this many times. There's the potential for a shutdown at some point. This team is awful. They have 1 win. They are going nowhere. And we saw last year that he was shut down towards the end of the season. So I don't see it getting better for him.
It's been horrible. 11% target share. That's nearly half of his career rate of 20%. And he's been held under 30 yards in 7 of 8 games. And again, this Rams team has only allowed 1 running back touchdown this season, and that was Christian McCaffrey. And I don't think either of those guys are on the same level. So, or I should say, I don't think Kamara's on that same level. So it's just brutal. So not someone that you need to be putting into your lineups week in and week out anymore. I've got him. Where do I have him? I have him RB25 this week.
Yeah, I guess it gets to a certain point where it's like, all right, well, he's probably getting 12 touches. So,
Yeah,
and
that's
you have
what
a lot
has
of
to
other
happen.
running backs in that area that you start to get to that are committee backs, the Aaron Jones, Jordan Masons, the Seattle backs. So it gets to a point, it's like, all right, well, I have to rank him here, but you really don't want to start him if you don't have to.
If you don't have to, you should not do that. Let's just say that. Last question here, and then we're going to continue on. I see one that says, if Stevenson is out, Bam Knight or Travion Henderson. This is from Michael. Shout out to Michael for giving us a listen. And again, he's referencing Ramondre Stevenson. We have to see if he's practicing today, but let's play the game of if Stevenson is out, would you go Henderson or Bam Knight? I think I would still go Bam Knight.
As of now, yeah, I would, unless they say, yes, this is Henderson's backfield. And
They
even if
won't
they
say
say
that.
I can't even trust that because it could be Terrell Jennings or Dearness Johnson
my
coming up.
goodness.
So
It could be us. They could call us up.
you never
Get out
know.
there.
Yeah. I mean, that could be the Halloween costume, right? All right, we need you to dress up as Ramondre Stevenson. We'll have to put on a lot of weight, though, to do that.
Come on.
That's not a shot. Are we as big as Ramondre Stevenson? No. So that's not a shot. I'm just saying.
How tall is he? Height. Oh, he's 6 foot. So really,
yeah,
what, 5'10"? No,
so
he's
yeah,
6
we're
foot, maybe 227.
Yeah,
Gotta
I'm
eat
definitely not
bags,
227.
couple more bags of candy.
about 20 bags of Snickers, and that still is not going to get it done.
I love it. All right, we're going to continue answering your guys' questions here. Going into week 9, it is time for go hard or go home. Which players are going to go hard for our fantasy teams this weekend? Which ones are going to go home? We're going to break it down here coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to have Xfinity. All the games all in one place. And here is what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. And it is a good long list, guys. You get the Sports Zone, every pro football game and over 1,000 college games. You get all the highlights, all the alerts, all in one place to keep you up to date. You get the multi-view, one of my favorites. You can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. You get the Xfinity fan view. So again, live scores, odds, and stats all in one place. And they can be personalized to you. You can pick your favorite teams and they will make sure to update you. The enhanced 4K, and you also get the voice remote where you can just say football. So imagine all of your football all in one place. Easy. Learn more at xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. All right. Happy Halloween. Happy Friday. We are going through go hard or go home before taking even more of your questions here. And I see some of them. I'm going to like them on X. So if you see me liking them, we're going to get to them. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us here today. Hope you can see Adam's Halloween costume that he might never take off. He might wear it once a week. It could be Halloween every day, you know?
That's a good idea. And I'm feeling it. It feels nice and comfortable. I look nice and flashy.
Comfy. It looks very warm.
Yeah, I got the cigar.
The cigar. Yeah, always have to do the cigar. You guys can check this out on our YouTube channel. Go like and subscribe if you guys can here. And again, fantasylife.com for all of our rankings and updates that you need to know before week 9. Go hard or go home here, Adam, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Again, we are fueled by the bold flavors of Mike's Hard Lemonade, the official drink of those who go hard for their league. And we're breaking down players that could potentially go hard for us this weekend, or they might go home. So let me do one. We haven't talked about DK Metcalf yet this week, or this Steelers-Colts game necessarily. We haven't been breaking it down. So go hard or go home for DK Metcalf in this matchup.
I'll say go hard here for DK Metcalf. I mean, it feels like it could be a little bit better for him, but the Colts allow the 4th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. Now, part of it is they are often playing from ahead and teams are playing from behind, but I think Metcalf could have a good game here. It always comes down to how many targets he's going to get. We know he's a good red zone threat, that big body. He did have 5 for 55 and a touchdown last week. And look, he scored 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games. So you would it's just, right? Don't you think it should be a little bit better for him? Like we figured he got paid.
We've talked about that all year.
Yeah, he got paid a lot of money. I expected more volume. Like he's not had a game of double-digit targets. Like why? I know they use the tight ends quite a bit. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it could have been better. Only 43 targets on the season through 7 games. He is averaging 17.1 yards per catch. So we've seen some of those big plays. Again, 5 touchdowns, but only 27 catches in 7 games. That's a little less than 4. Like it should be better. So again, I don't know. Like I don't have Metcalf anywhere. I probably do in best ball. I don't have a redraft. Like, do you consider him like a disappointment or just basically
Where was he going? What was his
fourth
ADP?
round, I'd say, sometimes fifth.
Probably. I mean, he leads the team with a 23% target share, but it's been
I think
another
it should
roller
be
coaster.
higher for
I
a guy of
agree it
his
should
caliber.
be higher, but that's how it was. I mean, he was disappointing in Seattle. This has been someone that really hasn't paid off his ADP since we've been drafting him, and
So
they rank also dead last in plays per game by
that's
design.
yeah, and
That's
remember,
the part.
Aaron Rodgers has always played at a slow pace. Even with Green Bay, when he put up those numbers, they were very. Remember, he gets up to the line of scrimmage, he surveys, and the play clock winds down. So they don't run a lot of plays. That's part of it. But he is 18th in points per game in PPR format. So I would say,
then.
yeah, I would say like where you drafted him, you're fine with it. It's just I think you were hoping for more ceiling games. Like his worst game in PPR is 8.
Yeah.
Right? Every other
I
game
just
is
think
double
he's
digits.
so talented that we expect a lot more from him because we know that he could put it up. But it's just it didn't happen though in Seattle either. It's the same conversation. But when you have a 23% target share coupled with the fact that Pittsburgh again ranks dead last in plays per game, 54.9, and that is by design, by the way, that they rank last in that category. I would say that he's been disappointing, but again, the Colts against opposing wide receivers.
But can we say that though? Like I just gave you his points per game. That's more than Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton, Ladd McConkey, Nico Collins.
Is that what you said?
Brown.
Third round ADP?
No, he. I think he was going mostly 4th to 5th round.
Okay, then you're right.
I think he's been fine,
I'll
but
change it. Then
it feels like it should be better.
I guess as someone that watched DK Metcalf on there, this is now just it overall NFL, watching him with the Seahawks for as long as I did. It just
he was
feels
disappointing
like
with them.
I feel like there's just more to give, to be totally honest. So maybe he's doing well, but I just think there's more.
And maybe we're wrong because, we see a guy 6'4", 230, the way he can run. So we feel like, he could put up massive numbers. I mean, that second year in Seattle, like he's probably never going to come close to that, where he had 83, 1303, and 10 touchdowns. Even the year after, he had 12.
And you're right. I think it's more just disappointment where you just know that there's potential there, but it just doesn't live for fantasy purposes, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't live up to the fantasy potential that you thought he could have. And maybe it's just me needing to cast that aside and say, okay, this is the DK Metcalf, average that we're going to get. But this matchup, not bad though for him, if we're going to be honest. He can really walk away with a good matchup going up against the Colts. And I think this could be a week where we see just a little bit more from him. The opposing wide receiver rooms going up against the Colts have the number 2 fantasy boost per game at 7.3 points. And what's the total on this game? It should be pretty high, right?
It is 50.5.
Okay.
I mean, the Colts are putting up points every week.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so go hard with DK Metcalf.
We're going hard with DK
All right,
Metcalf.
I like it. Ooh, Cortland Sutton, Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. Go hard or go home in this one this weekend?
This week, I'm going to say go home. I think this is a tough matchup. The total in this game is 40.5. Look, I think if you have him, you're starting him, but I would lower expectations this week. The corners have been good. Lassiter and Stingley have been good for the Texans. So this is, and Bo Nix, I think, could struggle a little bit here. He's taking advantage of some very favorable matchups. This will not be one. It's going to be a tougher one. So this will probably be, I've been playing Sutton's receiving yards almost every week. It's been anywhere in the high 50s to low 60s. I don't think I'm doing it this week.
No, probably not. Bo Nix is a faller in my rankings. I don't think I'm ever going to have him this low, but he's a QB 15 for me this week. I might move him up depending on some of the news. Obviously, I have to wait and see what we're doing with Joe Flacco and Kyler Murray and some of these other guys. But yeah, it's one where this is a tough team to face, and hopefully he can step up and get you fantasy points if you do have to play him. But the Texans have held opposing quarterbacks to 6.2 points below their average. Also someone that's been disappointing this year. Just a little bit, right, Bo Nix, for you?
Yes. I mean, I know he's had a couple good games recently, but that's kind of inflated his numbers for this season. Let's see. He's... I don't know. So this is 6 points passing to Johnston. He's 8th in points per game.
Okay,
so that's not awful.
That's right
but it's been boosted by these last 2 games. Now, again, for 3 quarters against the Giants, he was awful. And he had 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing in the 4th quarter, and then he went off against Dallas. So it's really those 2 games that have boosted him.
All right, we're going to continue on. That was Go Hard or Go Home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. We're going to go through our favorite flex plays, more of your questions as well. Want to talk through Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, see a couple from questions from him, David Montgomery as well. We're going to break it down coming up next. Oh, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Halloween. Oh, it's noon, Adam. Well, almost. It's almost time to leave work.
On a Friday.
They have it's a great day to leave work early. Halloween, go eat some candy, go watch some scary movies. Just kidding. I hate scary movies. I can't do
you?
That.
You really get scared?
What?
I'm not surprised you do. You seem like that person.
You seem like you would supposed to mean?
Just seems like you get scared easily. Like I can stress you out so easily. Like
for sure. No, I'm very I'm an anxious person.
Okay.
No, I can't do scary movies. Or I'll go to the scary movie. Like I just saw that movie Weapons, really good movie by the way.
Weapons,
if it's
you
still
did
out.
mention that. Okay.
And I don't know if producer Ronis saw it, but
he sees everything.
I had my eyes closed and my ears plugged
really?
the whole time. But it was still fun. It was still enjoyable. Yeah, I don't like jump scares. I can do scary if I know that nothing's gonna pop out.
Okay. So can you you can't go to a haunted house then, right?
Are you crazy? No. No. You couldn't pay me.
I saw this haunted house where they actually snatch you up and throw you in the back of a van. That would be pretty cool.
What are you talking about, snatch you? They can't touch you in those.
Yeah, no. Well, you sign up for it. You know that it's going to happen.
If you're meeting me at the front door with a waiver, I'm out. I'll meet you at the exit, okay? Because at some point we have to reach our limits, and there's no way I'm signing a waiver to go into a haunted house. No chance. Ew. Why would you like some fun? That's absolutely not what I consider fun.
Okay.
Eating a whole bag of Snickers candy is what I consider fun.
That's what you're going to do tonight, watching movies?
Yeah, probably.
No, you're going to watch the World Series tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, going to watch the World Series. That should be interesting. We'll see what Yamamoto does tonight.
I hope we get a Game 7. I am rooting for Toronto to win, but Game 7 every sport is always the best.
It's fun. It's a lot more competitive than I expected it to be, I guess.
I think most people, I did not expect this. Maybe I didn't give Toronto enough credit, but I guess the Dodgers have not been hitting though at all. Basically since it's been bad. They've gotten outplayed. There's just no excuses. They've gotten outplayed.
Yeah, there's a really good Yamamoto story, but I'm very biased. Over at The Athletic from Bobby and Artaya right now, if you guys want to go check it out. But for our favorite flex plays, and let me go through just a couple quick questions here that I see. Stockman said, full point PPR, said, my starting receivers, this is a little long, but that's okay. Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr., and Trey Tucker. Bench is Ricky Pearsall, Quentin Johnston. The question here, Adam, is would you pick up Parker Washington and drop any of those guys, more specifically Quentin Johnston or Trey Tucker? I don't love dropping Quentin Johnston right now.
I don't think you could drop Tucker either. He's especially if Jacoby Myers gets moved.
Exactly.
So yeah, no. Probably not at this point.
Yeah, I would say no, but
And then you already have Thomas too. You don't want to be starting.
True. You don't want
this Jacksonville offense doesn't merit starting two receivers from it. And you could you
can barely start one.
And Brenton Strange too should be back in 2 more games. So that's a tight end that was getting targeted before he got hurt. So he essentially could step into the number 2 role in that offense.
Quentin Johnston I really need to update. I'm going to update my rankings after this, guys. So if you see him right now, I'll get to him after this. But Quentin Johnston is the question, or Parker Washington. I've got Quentin Johnston, wide receiver 32 right now.
To start this week, I think you probably go Washington.
Yeah. But Parker Washington, I think, is going to be closer to 28, 25 for me.
Yeah, again, Quentin Johnston's a really talented player, and we saw it. I wonder how much if the injury was still bothering him too.
Yeah.
But there were times he was open and Herbert didn't see him. Again, part of it is just with Gadsden and Allen and McConkey. Again, Johnston will have some big weeks. The problem is it's going to be tough to figure out going forward.
Favorite flex plays for the weekend. One, Kayshon Boutte.
I love Boutte. I'm never going to say no to Boutte.
You done?
I'm the sugar daddy. I have to play the role.
That's true. You have to play the role. I do think, listen, he's running hot right now. If you've got Kayshon Boutte, is this not a week where you just continue to put him out there? I think you've just, until it fizzles out, right? Drake May's looking really good and having a special season. So this might be one where I still continue to play him in the flex spot.
He has been touchdown dependent. The volume's not there. Atlanta's been a tough matchup, but May is making plays versus everyone.
I know it's a really boomer bust with a reliable flex option for him, but yeah, he's cleared 5 targets only once too.
I know, that's the
That was
problem.
back in week 1. I think
Yeah.
they need to give him more, to be totally honest. How do they not look at him and what he's done and give him a little bit more? Say we can trust him a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been spreading it around.
All right. Enjoy your Halloween, everyone. Have a great day. Be safe out there tonight and this weekend. Eat a whole bag of candy like Adam Ronis and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Go to fantasylife.com. Check out all of our rankings and our tools. We appreciate you guys so much. We'll see you here on Monday.